Shannon Grimm with Shannon Grimm and Partners. Today I'm joined by Slavi Jordanoff, and Michael Stanley is slacking, so he's not here. And then we're also joined with John O'Connell from Schooley Mitchell, and we're going to learn some more about what he does today.
All the fun stuff.
Yes. So what you do isn't something that you would normally think that there was a business that did.
Exactly. Yeah, we kind of operate where I deal with business owners, and we operate where most business owners don't want to be. They want to focus on the core part of their business. I deal with reducing expenses and helping them be more profitable in areas where that really aren't most important to them. So I help try and free up cash that they can put towards what's most important in their business.
Yeah, so like some of the places that you said you've been able to save businesses money, and you can even save small businesses money, right? So
Absolutely.
It doesn't have
Any
to
size.
just be a big business. It can be, small business or whatever.
Yeah, really any size business in any industry.
Okay.
Yep.
What industries do you think you save people the most money?
So I'd say if I had to list a handful as being our top industries, I'd say manufacturing companies, construction companies, really anybody in the trades, medical offices, restaurants, and nonprofits.
Okay, nonprofits. Interesting.
Yeah. They're always looking. They always have budgets, and they're always tight. And it's great working with nonprofits. Any money we can save them goes back into their programs and helps the communities that they serve.
Okay. Yeah, and restaurants, we would assume, because both of us were in restaurants for a long time. So, and there's very little profit to be had in restaurants anyway.
If there's ever an industry that needs help being more profitable, it's the restaurant industry.
Yeah, and people don't realize how slim the margins are on those. So,
especially right now. Yep.
Yeah. So anything you can do to save money is good.
Right. And again, when people are thinking of being more profitable, a lot of times they turn, and rightly so, they try and they look towards the top line. They want to grow more. They want to grow revenue more. And so sometimes they look at expenses, but they're not. It's not their core competency. They're not experts in negotiation like Schooley Mitchell is, and our team. We have a team of experts that are really tuned into each of our categories that we handle, and they know how to negotiate those different categories.
Okay, and I know cell phones is one place where you save people a lot of money.
So there's about 16 categories. I won't go through them all and bore you to tears, but the top 4 would be telecom, which includes cell phones, internet and phone systems, merchant service fees, waste removal, and then also shipping.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize the cost of a stamp has gone up so much either.
I don't even look anymore. I just put my money in and I just whatever it is.
I just looked the other day. It was like 69 cents. I'm like, when did that happen?
Yeah.
So kind of crazy. Everything just skyrocketed.
And that's what I say. The work we do offsets the rising cost of pretty much everything these days. And the cool thing about our model is it's a no risk, no harm, no foul service. So all the reviews we do for companies, we don't charge any upfront fees, and there is no cost. Reviews are complimentary, and so if we can save anybody money, then we share in the savings. If we can't save anybody any money, then there's no fee to them at all.
Yeah, and that's really cool. And I do really need to try to get you in touch with the person that we talked about. So I'm going to try that again, too, after the Parade of Homes. But because I think since that's one of your companies that you can really help with, I think that would be beneficial, especially since there's no upfront cost or anything.
Right. And at the clients use us for a lot of reasons. One of them could be just as a just a proof that they all think they're getting the best rates, but how do you really know unless you involve a third party like ourselves? Right. And we can do an audit, and we can tell you if you're receiving the best rates or not. And so you're happy either way. Either you're getting the best rates and no changes need to be made, or we a lot of times actually we'll negotiate and reduce the rates mainly with the incumbent vendor, and there doesn't have to be a change. But if we can lower the rates, then you're happy there too. So
yeah, that's good.
Win-win.
So how did you get into this?
So I spent a long time. I spent about 30 years in the healthcare world. So for most of that time, I was customer service director, VP, both for hospital systems as well as vendors. So hospitals outsource customer service, billing, collections types, and financial assistance work to us. So I did that for 30 years, and I managed a bunch of people, and I loved it. I've always just wanted to do something for myself, though. So it just became time where I was like, when I managed people and managed my unit, I always thought if I were the boss, king of the world, what decisions would I make and how would I manage it? And I was like, it's just time to put up or shut up. So I decided to do my own thing and take a chance. So I was always on the operations side of things, dealing with budgets and P&Ls and people and all that kind of stuff. But this is more of a sales position, business development position, and it's different. I wanted to challenge myself and kind of step out of my comfort zone and do something totally different. So franchise broker reached out to me, and I said, sure, I'll listen, and thought I could do this.
Okay, yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah. So how many Schooley Mitchells are there?
There's about 250. It's a franchise system, so there's about 250 franchisees across North America.
That's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like conventions or support systems and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's an annual convention. I've been 3 years now in Schooley, and every year it's been in Jamaica. So
it's not bad either.
In November I'll be heading to Jamaica for
November in Jamaica. That's not too shabby.
Right. Yep. And there's a lot of online training. We'll have webinars, a couple times a month about different categories, different aspects of business, and just help to grow, build our knowledge base.
Well, and a franchise is great because you get to do your own thing, but you have some guidance too. So you're not completely on an island by yourself.
Exactly, and that's kind of what I was looking for. So, if I circle back to my healthcare days, a lot of folks in my role, if they decide to do something on their own, they would have gone into healthcare consulting. I could have done that probably fairly easily, but getting back to what I said earlier, I just want to challenge myself and do something different. And the great thing about Schooley and the model is, I just have to be a people person. I have to talk to people. And we have staff, our home office staff. They're the ones, and I tell folks this all the time. They're the ones that do all the hard work. I probably have do the least amount of work out of anybody. So when we engage, with a client, we'll gather invoices and contracts, and the home office is the one. The teams there are the ones that review all of those. They're the ones that negotiate with all the different vendors that we have. Then they come back with the recommendations. We talk to the client and go from there. So they're really doing all the work.
Okay, that's cool.
I get to network with folks like you.
Yeah. So now that home office, now are those people that you employ, or is that like
That's the franchise system. So they work for me as well as all the other franchisees.
That's pretty cool too, because then that helps your bottom line too.
Yeah.
Because you're all sharing the labor pool.
Right. I'm probably the worst example of a Schooley Mitchell customer. I work from home, and I have very little expenses, and so,
It's good, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. That's a good way to do a franchise, because most franchises, they kill you with the fees, for one.
Right.
So, because I've often contemplated, we've talked about doing a franchise for a real estate brokerage or whatever, but those are pretty hefty fees to do that, too. Right. And sometimes it's good to be comfortable where you are too. Yeah,
and the great thing too is they have there's a marketing arm as well, and they'll post a lot of the social media for me, so I don't have to employ someone or do it myself, which is not my sweet spot. So I'd rather be out talking with folks and not on social media posting all day.
I'd rather be doing the social media marketing stuff and not out talking to people these days.
We'd be good together then. So.
Yeah, and I have Abby too, because the whole social media thing is there's really a lot to it.
There is.
So, and it's really weird how we get stuff from LinkedIn.
Yep.
So we get a lot of activity on LinkedIn, and you wouldn't think that would be a place for it.
Right.
But I think you're one who's talked about LinkedIn before too.
That's my main social media avenue.
Yeah, and, it's so weird.
Yeah, and I will say, and I'm not... At my core, I'm not a true marketer. I'm not putting myself out there a lot, but it works. Again, I never in my prior life, I never really had to do much social media advertising at all, really anything at all. But it's true. I've seen the power of social media, and it does work. And
and we were at a continuing ed class earlier where the speaker is a commercial real estate agent, or was. Now she does these talks, and it all started from a LinkedIn post.
Yeah.
And now she's doing speaking engagements at $1,000 a pop, and she did 280 of them.
Ooh.
In 2 years. I know, right?
That's like almost every third day.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah. But she's really good at it.
Right.
She's just a really good speaker. Because I'm like, some people, you listen to them talk, and you're just like, oh, God, when are we out of here? But she's got stuff to say, and she's entertaining but not annoying, if that makes sense.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Yeah, I have people commenting all the time, like, hey, I see your posts on LinkedIn all the time. I'm like, well, some of it I'll do myself if it's an event or anything or something, but a lot of it's done by our home office, and so people notice it. It gets you out there.
It's kind of crazy. Because I just kind of like, whatever, it's LinkedIn. You know, didn't really pay much attention to it, but Abby started posting on it more. We do need to get better on TikTok. Sooner or later, those kids are going to buy houses. But
yeah, I haven't dipped my toe into TikTok yet. I don't know if I want to go in there. I don't want to go.
Yeah, I don't think you need it.
No,
an excerpt from this might appear on TikTok.
Ooh. My kids will enjoy that.
Yeah. They'll be scrolling by like, what the heck is this?
Right.
But it's so weird. Like, we were talking the other day about how real estate's changed.
Yeah.
And how, like, they were like, what? Like, the MLS used to be just a book. It looked like a phone book. That. And, you know, just the changes since technology and stuff. And now it just changes so quickly.
My mother was a real estate agent, and she had the book. And
yep.
She was working. She'd get up at 7 in the morning, and she worked till like 2 in the morning just because people were calling her all the time. So
yep.
I understand what you go through.
Yep. And a lot of people don't get it. It is a true lifestyle experience. It is not a job or a career. It is a lifestyle, a way of life.
Right.
And people are like, oh, I didn't want to bother you while you're on vacation. Really? Why should that stop anyone now?
But they called you anyway, so.
Well, no one really called me this time. Okay. It's like, really? Like, it gets boring. Like, I'm used to being, you know, on the phone all day, going. And my mom, when I was a kid, she was like, I should have named you Go-Go. She's like, you're always going. And I'm like, I just don't like to sit still.
That's why I'll call you now.
Yeah. Well, and she made me get a job at 16, so I got 3. And she was mad about that. And I'm like, well, you didn't tell me they were going to pay me and I was going to make friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, they pay me to hang out with friends.
What's wrong with that?
I know. It's $3.85 an hour. You couldn't beat it. Now kids are squawking about $20 an hour for working at McDonald's. Like,
20.
Whatever. Right. They want that.
They don't get out of bed for $20.
You know, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
I forget what I was watching. I was watching something the other day. Oh, it was this girl complaining. She showed up to an interview, a job interview, and the recruiter told her that she would go ahead and reschedule it for her, but to make sure that she dressed appropriately for it. And the girl was appalled because she had worn these shorts and she thought these shorts were appropriate for an interview. And her, like, butt was, like, hanging out. And it's like, and she was like so mad that, and she like was appalled that this recruiter would think that she wasn't dressed appropriately and just seemed so entitled by the whole thing. And it's like, she was getting blown up on the internet.
Were there words on the back of the shorts?
No, that would have been even better though. Yeah, the days of the juicy shorts are gone, thank God. It's like, whoever thought to put juicy on the back of someone's shorts? But whatever. But it was so crazy, and it was like they were blowing her up, and it's like kids now are just like so different. It's just so strange.
I get it, and I'm very thankful. My kids are there a little bit, but they're more on the they're very much more on the proper side. So
yeah, well, and we were at that CE class today, and we were talking about how Central Ohio is a car-centric city, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we always have to have cars to go everywhere. Yep. But, like, we have another gentleman who's getting his license. In Slavi, they have daughters that are about the same age. And they scream bloody murder when they go to get in a car. And then kids now don't even want to learn how to drive and stuff. And it's like, wow, the kids right now don't want to learn how to drive. And kids that are under 2 don't even like being in a car. Like, what are we coming to? Like, what's going to happen with this newest generation of kids?
Just wait till the robots take over.
I know.
They're going to be, that's all.
I know.
Like the Jetsons. It'll be like the Jetsons.
See, so I actually have a meme coming up that I schedule out my posts because I forget. But it's the Rosie. like I need a Rosie. I need a Rosie so
Everybody
bad.
needs a Rosie.
I know, right? So the robot maid from the Jetsons, right? Yep. So I just, And so Star Trek was one of my favorite shows growing up.
Okay.
And I'm like, now, Star Trek totally, like, I'm wearing Star Trek now, like with the Apple Watch and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right, yep.
Like, that was all stuff that Gene Roddenberry thought of way before anyone else did.
Right.
So super cool.
I remember seeing on the news, I don't know, 25 years ago or whatever, that someday people will be watching TV on their phones and on their watches. I'm like, that's so stupid. That's the dumbest thing ever. And so
Well, and it's crazy because, like, I used to think, like, what my mom had seen in her lifetime, like what had been developed that she'd seen and stuff. And, just like, I remember I was the remote control when I was a kid. It's like, go change the channel and you had to switch the dial and stuff.
3 channels. You can only get a 3, so.
Sometimes 4.
Oh, okay. All right.
UHF.
Well, wow.
We had UHF.
Ritzy.
I was up near Cleveland. We had 43 sometimes.
Ooh, okay.
It was like the movies at 3 o'clock when I got home from school and stuff. It was kind of cool. But so it's just like, seeing like in her with even up until like the end, her phone was a push button, but when you push the buttons, it would go because it was still hooked up to the rotary, even though you were pushing a button. She had never changed like the dial tone. So it's just funny what you see in your lifetime develop.
Right. We still have a rotary phone in my parents' house, so. That's
funny.
Yeah.
They're like, if you want to confuse kids, put them in a standard shift car and give them a rotary phone.
A couple of years ago, we were on vacation in one of the national parks, and we saw a row of phone booths. And I'm like, kids, do you have any idea what this is? And they didn't know. They had no clue.
That's fun. And there's one guy that posts on social media, and he's always like, my top 10 things that my kids asked me this summer and stuff. And I forget all of them right now, but they're like the funniest things. It's like I can just, picture a kid asking about different things. It's like phone booths and stuff. So it's just funny. It's funny the things that they'll never know that we grew up with. Right. So it's kind of
sound like a bunch of old people.
I know. I like it though. And my husband's always like, because I'm always like, kids these days. He's like, people always, blame the next generation or whatever. Right. And then now he's getting to the point where he's like, oh my God. I'm like, I thought you said it's what everyone always does. And I'm like, I'm telling you, there's something wrong with this next generation. But
no, there's a significant change for sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I used to think I was never going to be able to drive because I was going to be asleep in the car because it always put me to sleep. Do you worry that your daughter will never want to drive a car ever or be in a car ever?
No, I'll make sure that doesn't happen. Okay. She will drive a car.
There you go.
She just doesn't want to be in a closed space like that. Even when she's in her seat for eating, she gets like that.
Well, and that's what Terry's kid screams. Like Abby even heard her. Oh, wow. She was screaming, and that's why they moved closer to like the daycare so they won't have to put her in the car to drive her to the other two's daycare.
Oh, that's tough.
I know. It's like, wow. So, anyhow.
Yeah.
So, where's your favorite vacation spot?
I'd say the one we go to most often is Hilton Head.
Okay.
And I'll say if I had to pick one place that I've been to that I would go back and say, I'd say Austria. I just
Austria?
I love Austria. It's a beautiful country, clean.
Yes, it's green.
And just a couple of years ago, my daughter's best friend, her dad's from Austria, and so we went over there for a few weeks, and it's just a lot of farmland. You live off the land. They grow their own food and everything, and it's just the coolest. It was outside of Salzburg, so which is a very cool city. But I would go back there every year if I could.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you didn't ask this, but if I could pick one place, my number one bucket list vacation would be to Australia.
See, I want to go to Australia and I want to go to Ireland.
Well, that's my second, so okay, we'll go together.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, because I think my husband's kind of getting wore out.
Right.
I need to find a ship that goes just straight to Ireland, and then we only have one flight back. Because the flights are what kill us.
I'll work on that for you, yeah.
The flights are what kill us.
They are, yeah.
I mean, it's horrible. I mean, and I go to the restroom every 10 minutes on a 14-hour flight. It's insane. Like, they should just put my seat in the bathroom.
It's like 8 hours, I would say. The long one.
Well, when we went to Italy, it was like 12, 14 hours.
Okay.
It was like, it was 2 days of travel. And then, like, I scheduled a day of sleep.
Right.
It was horrible. And then I got
just need
sick
to go
on
first
top
class.
of it. Yeah, for $16,000 a pop. Yeah,
okay.
And that was 3 years ago. So now I wonder what it would be. Well, and that's gotten more complicated these days. So.
I hear.
Yeah. Anyhow, it's a lot of fun. Now, I don't know what I was gonna say. I hate when that happens. Happens to me all the time.
Make up something.
I usually do, anyways.
Right.
As long as I say it with confidence.
There you go.
Okay.
People believe it. As long as you believe it.
Yeah. But so if people wanted to get a hold of you, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you?
So I'd say email is always the best. So john.o'connell, OCONNELL @schooleymitchell.com. It's SCHOOLEYMITCHELL.
Okay.
I hope I got that right. I think I did.
Well, someone told me that I gave them my email wrong one day, and my email is my name. And I said, yeah, I do occasionally forget how to spell my own name, I guess.
You know what? A phone number might be easier, too. So can I throw that out,
Yeah.
too? So 614-634-0471.
Okay. All right. And so John is from our B&I group, our networking group, and it's a really good group.
It's an awesome group.
And I think, so you were the president of it when I started.
I was, yep.
Right.
And I just think you did a really, I think you did a really good job with that.
Well, thank you.
So, and you impressed me in that role.
I appreciate it a lot. So I was a little nervous because I had never networked before in my prior life. Didn't have to.
I hate it.
Yeah, I really enjoy it now. And so, and B&I does teach you. It teaches you a lot of the skills, and it's kind of like a little bit thrown in the fire, but you learn it. I basically drew on my management experience, so I kind of treated it like it was just a meeting I have with my employees back when I managed folks. So, and I could keep it casual. I kept meetings casual with my employees back in the day, and just want to make it hopefully fun, welcoming place for people to come in and share their business and see if we can help them and they help us.
Mm-hmm. And it made me nervous. So I'm not just joining in general makes me nervous. But I also, when the year was up and it was time to switch, it also makes me nervous because there's been area associations where, I really enjoy going because someone is the president of it, and then they switch, and then the next thing I know, they're forcing you to ride in cars with other people and stuff. So, and then I'm I'm never coming back here again. I'm not getting in a car with other people. It's just weird. So I was afraid that it would be too much of a drastic change, but it's a really good chapter.
It is. I love it. So I do a bunch of networking, and that's probably my favorite group. I mean, that has to be my favorite group.
Well, and I've tried different networking groups over the years, and they're just not for me.
Right. It's what I really like about the group is what a lot of people don't like is the consistency. We have weekly meetings, and you're expected to show up most of the time, and that holds you accountable. So if you're a business owner, just like you and I are, it's in our best interest to go to those meetings and be present and be active in the group and interact with folks. That's how you grow. That's how I grow my business. I'm sure that's how you grow your business. And so there are some groups where you don't have to attend, and there's some groups that you can go to once a quarter or whatever.
But I mean, why go to it if you're not going? Why join it if you're not going to attend?
Yeah.
And I may not have the world's freest schedule either. So, but doing stuff like this helps me to get to know people better too.
Absolutely.
And then it also helps me in getting your name and what you do out there too. Yep. And I try to work everyone in where I can to try to get them exposure too.
So because I do like the
group. I do like the group. So
I do too.
And it's just a good group. And I couldn't have ever seen myself paying to belong to a networking group either, but I did.
I never thought I'd do it either, but I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
So can we put a plug in for
Sure.
Columbus Metro B&I?
Yeah.
Check us out.
Yeah, and I've invited my dentist to join, but he was unfortunately in Thailand, so I will have to reach out to him again.
So I've heard there used to be a dentist in our group, and I've heard other folks say that dentists do really well.
He does really well anyway. So
I know, right? So.
Because I already refer everyone to him. And it's weird what people ask us for recommendations on.
Right.
People will really ask us recommendations on everything. So I've referred a lot of buyers to my dentist. And, they ask for everything.
Can I have their name?
My dentist?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Dr. Chung. He's in Powell.
All right. Okay.
He's in Powell. Bright Smiles Dentistry in Powell.
Okay, good.
And I started going to him because I'm a huge baby. So it used to be that in order for me to get my teeth cleaned that I had to be gassed. So I don't have to be gassed now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've come a long way with dentistry.
Here's my one claim to fame, and if my wife ever watches this, she'll hate me. I've never had a cavity.
Whatever. You're just like my
Wow.
husband. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the amount of dental procedures I've had I've made the man rich. And a few other dentists. But my first dentist ever was Dr. Sharkey, and he was evil.
Oh,
he screamed at me.
That sounds evil.
Yes, I know, right? And that's why I don't forget it. But Dr. Chung is awesome. His name's Jerry Chung, and he's awesome because I'm such a baby.
Yeah.
and just such a baby. And they had to call one girl for me to make sure that she was like I was like, where is she? And she was like, I'm in the next room. And I'm like, okay, because like I wouldn't let them do anything until I knew she was close by. I'm such a baby. Oh. But anyhow, so if you want to get a hold of John and try to save your business some money without any cost to you, because if he saves you money, he's going to split that with you, which is a fair deal, I think. Yeah. Give John a shout, and we thank him for being here with us today.
Thank you so much, Shannon.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So, and make sure to, I'm going to get this all messed up. Stanley usually corrects me. Like, follow, subscribe, and hit some button or something. And Abby's laughing at me. But anyhow, you know what to do. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.